Your brain wants revenge the way it wants sugar. A team in Zurich put people in a brain scanner and offered them the chance to punish someone who had just cheated them. The reward circuitry lit up, the same machinery as dessert as winning. Then a different team let people actually take their revenge, and the punishers felt worse. They stewed over the cheater longer and replayed the injury more than the people who were denied the chance entirely. So both of these are true at once. Revenge is one of the sweetest things your brain can anticipate, and one of the most expensive things you can actually buy. For years I took the standard lesson from that. Revenge is beneath you. Rise above hate, forgive and forget. I no longer believe that's the lesson. And the reason is the part nobody says out loud. The instinct isn't broken, but the aim is. By the 3-minute mark, you'll have the answer. I call it true revenge. And if somebody in your life is quietly waiting for you to fail, this video is about them. But it's for you. Because here's a situation nobody warns you about when you start changing your life. The moment you grow in a direction your circle didn't vote on, some of them take it personally. I'm not talking about strangers, people at your own dinner table, your family members, your friends in your WhatsApp group chat, your colleagues at your work. Here in Australia, there's a name for that pattern: tall poppy syndrome. The flower that grows tallest is the one that gets cut. And the cutting rarely looks dramatic. It looks like a friend quietly collecting your bad decisions so they can serve them back to you as, I told you so. So if you've ever felt that, you're not imagining it, and you're not a bad person for being angry about it. Let's jump straight to the method. First, the definitions, because revenge comes in 3 temperatures. Hot revenge is the impulsive one, the message sent at 1 a.m., the screaming match between you and your sibling, the thing you do in the first 72 hours while the wound is still open. It feels like justice in the moment and it reads like evidence forever. Look back honestly and you usually find that you lost that one. Then comes the cold revenge. Cold revenge is the patient one. A life quietly reorganized around a single project. Their downfall. It looks disciplined. It's actually the worst deal on the table because now your calendar belongs to the person who hurt you. So even if you win, they owned your ears. The years that you spend on proving them wrong. Finally comes the true revenge. True revenge, in my opinion, points inward. You don't do it to them. You build it without them. You succeed at the exact thing they doubted you on, and the success itself delivers the verdict. No speech, no confrontation. The results speak for themselves, so you never have to. Your energy stays on your own ambition. And the revenge is a byproduct. It happens on the side without you spending a dime on it. 3 moves, and you can start tonight. Move 1. Read the scar. Forgive, but don't forget. And be clear about who the forgiveness is for. You. The thing I keep relearning about forgiveness is that it makes peace with the past and drops a weight you are carrying for someone who isn't carrying anything. Don't suppress the memory. Process it. Keep the lesson and put the weight down. You're in charge of what gets to follow you. So write it down once, plainly. What happened, who stood with you and who didn't. What it taught you in 1 line. Not to nurse the grievance, to close the case file with the lesson attached. That's what a scar is. Closed skin that still remembers. Move 2. Build the fence. Whoever used your private information against you loses access to the next chapter. No announcement, no explanation, no dramas. You simply stop handing the live ammunition to people with the record of firing it. By building a fence around you, you're clearing room for yourself to act in peace. Move 3. Feed the furnace. Take the sentence that burns you. I knew it would end like this. And staple it to a rep. 1 hour on the craft, 1 application sent, 1 session done at the gym. Anger is fuel, and fuel is neutral. The furnace you pour it into is the entire decision. And keep the furnace in its place. It's not the reason you're pursuing the ambition. Your interest and your values drive that first. The doubt is just extra hate. A reminder that the bumps on the road exist to be passed. So to quickly summarize, read the scar, build the fence, and feed the furnace. That's the entire method. Let's dive deep on why it works. Start with the instinct. Because the internet's answer to your anger is usually a lecture about letting it go. And I want to push back on that first. The revenge instinct comes standard. Researchers who study punishment keep finding a version of it in every culture they check. And the logic is cold and clean. A person who visibly retaliates is expensive to exploit. So, the instinct is a security system. Its job is to raise the price of hurting you. So pretty much, revenge is a protective mechanism. So when somebody betrays you, nothing in you is malfunctioning. The anger is accurate. It's telling you the truth about what happened. The problem is the delivery system. Left on autopilot, it moves your two most valuable resources, time and energy, away from building yourself and into burning someone else, which is exactly what your enemy wanted anyway. And there is an experiment that caught the whole trap in action. It came from a psychologist named Kevin Carlsmith, working with Dan Gilbert's team at Harvard. Back in 2008, they set up a group investment game with a planted free rider, someone who burned the group for personal profit. Everyone wanted to punish that person. Half the participants got the chance, half of them did not. The punishers predicted satisfaction. They got the opposite, measurably worse moods than the people who were denied revenge. And when the team looked for the reason, they found it in one behavior. The punishers couldn't stop thinking about the cheater afterwards. The people who never got the chance, they just shrugged it off. They wrote the person off and moved on. The people who got their revenge kept the wound open by holding the knife. One sentence carries the whole mechanism. Revenge doesn't close the account. It just renews the subscription. Because acting against someone keeps your attention tied to a person you are trying to get rid of. That's hot revenge. Cold revenge takes the same bug and gives it your whole calendar. I've watched people become full-time historians of their own grievance. Every choice routed through one question. What would hurt them? Understand what that is. It's devotion. Years of it pointed at someone they claim to hate. Hot revenge sells your reputation for one evening of relief. Cold revenge is worse. It sells your ears for a scoreboard only you are checking. Either way, you're paying for it on their command. Now the part I want to say carefully, because if the betrayal came from your inner circle, someone is probably telling you to just get over it. A neuroscientist at UCLA named Naomi Eisenberg put people in a brain scanner while they were excluded from a simple ball-tossing video game. Strangers, a rigged game, and the softest rejection science could design. The regions that tracked it were the same as the one that tracked the distress of physical pain. So the phrase, "it's all in your head," turns out to be technically true and completely useless. The pain runs on real hardware, and unlike a cut on your finger, it comes with no healing schedule. Biology, the way it works, it closes skin in a couple of weeks, whether you cooperate or not. Whereas a psychological wound to how you see yourself has no such automation. If you leave it unread and unchecked, it can quietly steer decisions for decades. The flinch before the good news, the dream you stopped saying out loud. These moments are make or break situations. The fork is real and it splits hard. The common path, the break situation, is where the wound becomes your story. You shrink back to an approved size. You run every plan past the same table that hurt you, and you comply anyway. That kind of burn becomes the end state for yourself. The other path, the make situation, has a name in psychology: post-traumatic growth. The researchers who study it keep documenting a minority who come out of the fire with more capacity than they went in with. More clarity about what matters, deeper relationships with the people who actually stayed, and a sharper sense of what they are for. Not because the fire was good, because they refused to let the fire be the end of their story. It became the means to a better end. Same facts, different author. That's the whole difference between being a victim of your biography and being the main character of it. And the honest part, Both journeys burn. Both are painful and tough. Building is hard and painful too. The difference is that one pain is temporary and the other becomes the end state. My personal experience came fairly early in my life. Losing my grandparents and a parent at 13 was a make or break situation. Years before I had a name for it. And I was fortunate that the fork bent towards building. And I'm grateful for every person who stood with me through it and for how those experiences shaped me in the way I am today. After some introspection, I landed on 3 reasons why building yourself beats burning them, your enemies. Number 1, the fuel finally lands somewhere that compounds. Every hour spent on their downfall is spent, gone, unrecoverable. Every hour spent on your craft is invested, and it pays whether they're watching you or not. If you did the 168 audit, this is the cheapest 2-word hour you will ever log. Number 2, success is the one verdict they can't cross-examine. An insult can be argued with. A result just sits there. The person who said I knew it would end like this has no comeback for it visibly not ending like this. You never claim the win. You never mention them. That silence says more than any speech you can imagine. Number 3, it protects the build self. In the quiet rep video, I told you that some of the eyes on your rise are not wishing it well. This is the rule's harder edition. The fence isn't only protection, it's production. What they can't see, they can't sabotage. And what they can't time, they can't spoil. Build quietly. Let them find out the way everyone else does, at the finish. And the oldest reason, I do believe actions have consequences. Where I come from, we call it karma. And you are welcome to take that as literally as you like. The practical version has never once failed me. A person who runs on hate is operating a furnace that faces inward. You're not required to attend the fire. The Stoics kept their own version of the rule 2,000 years ago. The best revenge is to refuse to become the person who hurt you. Their cruelty is their account. Your building is yours. And when you stop at proving them wrong, there's one trap left. A success that's still addressed to your haters still belongs to your haters. So if you hit the milestone and your first thought is, I hope they saw that, then they still have a hold on you. What I noticed watching people who run this well is that the win isn't the day they see your success. The win is the day you realize you forgot to check whether they saw it or not. True revenge has a growth curve. You build because the building is yours and you love it. The proving wrong happens on its own, passive, in the background, with no dedicated energy spent on them. And one ordinary day, out of the blue, the thought of them simply fails to arrive. No forgiveness ceremony, no closure conversation, just a quiet, where the argument used to live. That's the finish line. Not their defeat, your freedom. Here's the practice. 1 page, 1 evening, 3 boxes to look at. The 1-pager is in the description below for free. Box 1, the scar. Write the incident once. What happened? Who stood where? And the lesson in 1 line. Then close the page. Case closed. Lesson kept. Box 2, build the fence around you. Name 1 channel of access you're closing this week. A person who no longer gets your plan before they're finished. Or a topic that's no longer available at the dinner table. Box 3, the furnace. Take the exact doubt sentence, write the build, it's now funding, and put the first rep on tomorrow's calendar. Small enough that you can't argue with it. The idea is to act without going on the analysis paralysis loop. Then finally set 1 date, maybe 90 days out, with a single question. Am I still building toward my own scoreboard, or have I drifted back to theirs? 1 honest caveat before you run it. If what you're living is ongoing abuse, not aftermath, the assignment is different. Distance yourself first. Get some real support first, a professional or a person you trust. This practice converts an old wound into fuel. It cannot protect you from a fire you're still standing in. So get out first and build after. So back to the brain scanner. Your brain will keep offering you revenge the way it offers sugar. because it's old machinery doing its old job. You don't have to argue with it. Just change what's on the menu. And somewhere down the road, when the life they said you'd never build is just your ordinary week, notice the quiet where the anger used to live. That quiet is the verdict. If this found you in the middle of a make or break situation, tell me one thing in the comment section below. The Build Your Doubters are unknowingly funding. Just a topic, nothing more. And if you want more videos like this, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.